Fordham men's soccer coming off one of the biggest wins in program history again, and knocking off Duke late last night. Jim McElderry joins us. Coach, congratulations on the win. How much sleep have you gotten?
Not much sleep. It was an exciting game last night, and between returning text messages and phone calls, it's been a busy night, but we wouldn't have it any other way for sure.
3 straight ACC teams. So you start with St. Francis Brooklyn here at Jack Coffey. Crazy game. You go to Virginia. Now you go to Duke. It's been a whirlwind the last 10 days, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think the travel alone has been a challenge for us the last month. We've had, I think, 1 home game in the last 4 or 5 weeks. The guys have handled that really well. It's easy to get them up for these games. It's just so exciting for them. But then the games are challenging. So last night was no different. Duke's very good. We were chasing the game twice, but we have a real resilient group, just a bunch of tough guys, and they keep pushing, and if teams allow us to hang around, we're tough to beat.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Let's go back to the first game of this playoff run real quick. First time you'd ever hosted a game at Jack Coffey in the NCAA tournament. Walk me through the latter stages of that game, because that was no guarantee down the stretch.
No, I was really impressed with their team, and you know, we fight back to tie it 1-1, and then we concede a goal 25 seconds later. But again, this group comes back, led by Matt Lewis, come back, catch a goal, and really when we tied the game, we thought, hey, we can win this game. It did take us to overtime, but you know, we're just happy to keep moving on each and every time we play, and it extends our season, allows me to be around these guys for another week, which I really enjoy. So it's been a lot of fun, and we'll try to rest up and get ready for the next one.
So let's move into this Duke game. You know, you were telling me before we got on air here, you were texting with people. It's not like you went in there and backed up the bus and finished 0-0. You scored 2 goals on the road against a very good Duke team. Walk me through the latter stages of that game.
Yeah, you know, in the beginning of the game, we were just trying to, you know, kind of settle down, and of course we conceded a goal 8 minutes in, and that kind of changes everything. I thought we were very mediocre in the first half, but second half, the guys came out and just really, I thought, played to their potential, tie the game up. Again, we go down a goal, which was just unfortunate, but then we just kept pushing, and just really proud of how guys have stuck to the task and just have that belief that if they keep working, they'll get some opportunities, and then we get into overtime. I thought we really pushed to win the game, had some chances, and then we get to penalties, and Rashid has been dynamite for us for the last couple of years. We have so much belief in him, and then other guys stepping up and scoring some big goals. It's just amazing.
Yeah, you think back to past A-10 championships, and Rashid knew who's already been in the penalties scenario. What's going through your mind when you get the penalties, you start lining everybody up, and you actually kind of get into it? Because you guys had a couple chances there to win it in penalties before you did.
Yeah, you know, I think you're just trying to find who's really confident in that moment. You know, it's one thing being confident when you're practicing on a Tuesday afternoon. It's different when the lights are on and there's a lot on the line. But we had a bunch of guys step up, put their hands up, say they were ready to go. And honestly, with Shido, we just let him do his thing. You know, he doesn't want a lot of information. He just wants to be able to get up there, read players, and react. So we leave him alone, quite honestly. And some guys really, the ability for a Jordan Black to step up and score a goal. Our backup goalkeeper, he always said he would want one if we were in this scenario, and he stood up, and really just amazing. Him, Matt Miller, and the list goes on and on. Really impressive.
And they were pretty good penalties too. Jordan Black, that wasn't a lucky hit. I mean, that's side netting. Everyone was doing it. For you as a coach watching that, I'm sure you've got a feeling in the pit of your stomach too.
You know, you're just hoping that guys can just relax and really not let the moment get too much for them. I thought both teams really scored some amazing penalties. I thought Shido was on a couple of them where I thought he was going to save, and they just hit him well. And then eventually, you know, someone has to miss, and we were lucky enough to be on the winning side.
Let's close with this. Obviously, the program, first 3 NCAA tournament wins. This is incredible. North Carolina's next. Where do you kind of begin catching up on their season? Did you see them at all when you were looking at Duke? And what do you see on the Tar Heels, at least right now?
Yeah, we know a little bit about them, but we'll have to do a lot more work this week. A lot of work to do this week in terms of travel and making sure we get everything in order. Listen, what we know about them is they're super talented. They've been a top team all year. They've been a top team in their conference all year. They've got some of the top players in the country to go to there. It's a great place to play. But we won't worry too much about them. We'll learn as much as we can. But now it's about getting some rest and making sure we're feeling good heading into the weekend, and let our guys really get out there and compete.
Well, the head coach of the 3 biggest wins in Fordham Ram men's soccer history. Congratulations, Jim.
Thanks for having me, Mike.
So Jim McElderry on this side. Let's turn the other way and bring in Matthew Lewis. And Matt, senior defender, walk me through the last 24 hours. It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, certainly crazy. I was just telling Jim before this that we didn't think it could get more emotional than the St. Francis game here at home, but you go through an event like that where you come back twice and you go through penalty kicks. It's really something, you know, and we're all getting text messages and our families are calling, friends are calling. It's really exciting stuff. So waking up for a 4:30 flight's not the easiest thing to do after a night like that, but you know, it's just really exciting at the end of the day.
You say waking up. I would never have fallen asleep. I don't know how you're feeling right now.
Some didn't, seriously. Some guys maybe got an hour of sleep last night, but at the end of the day, it's exciting, like I said, and we love these moments. This is what we play sports for, so we're just all buzzing right now, you know.
Yeah, you come out from the Kansas City area. You're a senior on this team. You've won A10 championships. Let's start with this. Where were your parents watching this? Were they in Kansas City watching?
They were in Kansas City. My dad, actually, right before this week, I was like, are you coming to the game? Trying to pull a surprise or something. And he's like, nah, listen, if it was your last game, I'd be there. But it's not. So I'll see you next week. And so that was funny. That's just the way my dad is and my family is. But super confident, and he knew that we weren't done.
When you first looked at Fordham, because Kansas City is a little bit away from New York City, why Fordham? What about this program made you think I can come in here and we can take the next one step or maybe three?
Right. Well, Jim and Gav were huge parts of that. You know, my family and I had a bunch of confidence in them. They were very honest with me and my family, and we valued that quite a bit. Obviously, New York and Fordham's academic stuff is great, and so that all played a factor. But at the end of the day, Jim and Gav were huge, and you know, having confidence in ourselves and myself personally to come in and create real change was one of the other factors that I put into it.
When you look at this program today, and this program's won A10 championships, they've won a lot of games before, but you guys get the NCAA bid at large, hadn't been done before. You get a home game. Let's talk about the goal you did score against St. Francis Brooklyn, because you're fouled, and all of a sudden you end up finding the goal on a header a couple minutes later when it didn't look so good at first.
Yeah, I mean, the whole scenario was just like super dicey. We just conceded, you know, and we were really trying to pull something out. And Shido played a great ball in, gave me something to work with, and I just went up and fought for it. And I think that was really my senior self coming out, you know. I was like, this isn't my last game, you know, I'm going to do everything I can to get on the end of that. And thankful for Shido, he put a great ball in, and I just did the rest. So it was really, really cool, and running over to the fans. I've never seen Jack Coffey like that, and it was really something.
And you were able to knock down a penalty in the shootout against Duke. What's it like? They say it's the loneliest walk in sports. What's it feel like now that you've done it?
You know, I embrace that. I think that's one thing I pride myself on, is I like to be in that pressure situation. I knew going in that we had a really good shot. Obviously, Shido's one of the best in the business at PKs, and so I was very confident. I knew that all I had to do was do my job, and the team was going to win the game, you know. And so I'm glad it happened, and I'm glad I could participate.
Close with this. North Carolina's next. You now have played 3 teams in the top 15 in the country in the last, call it, 6 days preceding and 7 days moving forward. Talk me through what it's like kind of trying to get back up for this and what you expect in the game in North Carolina.
There's no fear in this group at all, you know. It doesn't matter what seed they are, what rank they are in the country. This group's going to give everything they got, and they're going to give it for the full 90 or 110, whatever it is, you know. I got the utmost confidence in this group that no matter what scenario we're put in, we'll dig ourselves out and make it favorable for ourselves. You know, this week's going to be a lot of recovery, getting our legs back under us, kind of moving past that game, that emotional game, and moving on to a group that's going to be good, and they're going to be experienced. And so we just got to get our mindset right, come to practice, train hard, and I'm sure we can win this game as well.
By the way, Jim McElderry, I mean, maybe not A10 Coach of the Year, but he's the next Premier League coach, right?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like a Leicester run, so yeah. we're not too concerned about that.
He'll bring Gavin, I'm sure, to Liverpool, right?
Easily. Oh, and Liverpool's obviously choice number 1 for those two.
Of course. Yeah, Matt, congratulations and good luck.
I appreciate that, Mike.
So Matthew Lewis, Jim McElderry with us. Obviously, good luck to the Rams. The 3 biggest wins in program history in the rearview mirror, and another big game coming up. We'll be back with more from halftime after this.